Hello, loves. So welcome to our solstice ceremony with the Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon, and of course myself, Beth Catherine. So I'm really excited and honored to be here with you today on this fairly profound day. I feel there's a lot going on that I think a lot of us don't understand. Like, for sure, I feel like that. I know that solstices offer a portal, offer a gateway, and there's a lot of activation and culling that can come through on solstices. So we're sitting here celebrating the winter solstice. So I do understand, of course, that it's the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, but because I am, of course, currently in Canada right now, and I've been in the northern hemisphere for the last little bit here. Of course, I'm honoring the winter solstice, so probably most of you ladies are also in the northern hemisphere. So yeah, today is such a great day. I'm just going to put something in the drawer here 1 second. Okay, so today is a great day to really reflect on so many things. And I'm really excited to bring this into the ceremony, into this conversation, talking about the sacredness of the darkness, talking about the medicine of the deep feminine, entering into a meditation with you ladies, and bringing in the energy of the dark goddess. Thanks for the hearts and the gratitude and all that stuff. So if you're watching live, please let me know. And well, obviously, like, I can see that some of you are watching live, but give me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And of course, be in communication throughout the ceremony. I love to read comments as they come through. And if you're watching on replay, please do the same thing. I read all the comments that come through on my videos, and really one of my favorite parts is just engaging with the sisterhood, with the tribe, and just sharing what's on our hearts and being reflecting for each other, etc., etc. So Janine's here. Hi, love. And she says, hi, welcome back to Canada, Canadian soil. Thank you. So I'm visiting my parents right now. This is the guest room that I have here. So I put my, put some Christmas lights up, or my Mexican blanket scarf here and Isis. So I was like, I gotta do some customization here. Dolores is here. She says, hi, Beth. Hi, love. And Amanda's here. She says, hey, back in Canada. Yeah, back in Canada. This beret is a little bit itchy. I've been wearing it all day, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm just gonna keep it for the ceremony. I'll take it off after. Okay, so let us open with an invocation of prayer just to set the tone. I know I've had a little bit of a busy, interesting day, seeing all the connections that are really dear to my heart, and just going in and out, and lots of kind of energy. So I'm looking forward to just grounding down, so we can do an invocation and a prayer to just help us center the energy and create some space. So Jessica's here. Welcome, love. And she says, I love your beret. Thank you. I thought it was so unique today. I just came from France. Like, I have this beret. Like, nobody's gonna have berets. And then, like, the first place I go to, this woman is wearing a black beret, the same one. And then I go to sit on the train, and another woman's wearing a black beret. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so not unique. Jojo's here. She says, hi, Beth. Hi, love. Awesome. So I'm just gonna close my eyes for this invocation. You can also close your eyes if that feels right for you. And just allow yourself to just breathe as you come into this space. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, or in a better way that works for you. Just using the exhale to release and soften. Maybe even creating sound on the exhale, creating a bit of a sigh as we just really start to release tension. Maybe moving around. I know I'm feeling really tight right now. The last few days have been a lot. And in this space, we ask the higher selves of all beings watching here with us, the ceremony, who are live or who are on replay, to join us now, including myself. So asking all of the higher selves who are here to join into and merge with our human consciousness or human frequency. And we're calling on all of our spirit guides and angels to be really present here with us in the ceremony, and really be with us, connecting with us in a space of unconditional love, offering us any sort of guidance, frequency, channeling, healing ideas that might really serve us at this time. Asking that our spirit guides and angels and our higher selves help to dissolve any barriers that we might have in order to really hear, see, feel, and know the truth. Calling upon our connection with Mama Gaia and just allowing ourselves to feel our connection with Mama Gaia below. Just feeling your tree roots anchoring into the black soil of Mama Gaia. Feeling into the sacred winter time, the sacred darkness, just feeling into what that feels like. Calling on the goddess Isis and Mother Mary here to be with us now. Calling on Mary Magdalene and Kali to be here with us now, present, guiding us in the ceremony, offering wisdom. And calling upon Hecate, the dark goddess Hecate, the ancient goddess Hecate, to be here with us now, channeling through in a space of unconditional love so we can learn from the wisdom of the darkness and hold space for the darkness within. And we dedicate this ceremony to all beings, and that all beings may know themselves as love. May all energy that is raised through this ceremony be amplifying the frequency and the energy that leads all beings to know themselves as love. So breathing in and out and just feeling the power of invocation and prayer, adding any of your own prayers or intentions to what I have just declared. And we call upon the medicine, of course, of the darkness. Even though doing this Facebook Live requires me to have the lights on so you can see me, we still feel the darkness all around. And calling on the medicine, the wisdom of the darkness to lead us, guide us, and hold space for us. And I call upon Archangel Michael also now to clear the energy of our energy fields and of our etheric circle ceremony that we're meeting in, so that we can meet in a space that is going to open up to these frequencies with accuracy. So asking Archangel Michael, with your higher self's permission, to clear all of our energy fields in the space that we're meeting in, the rooms that we're finding ourselves in. And just seeing that bright blue purple light clearing us. And whenever you're ready, you might want to move around. I'm just going to move my spine here, opening up a little bit more. Whew. Feeling the tightness. And whenever you're ready, you can just gently open your eyes. Okay. So let's have a little bit of a discussion about the darkness, shall we? So if you've been following me for a while, you know this is one of my favorite topics. And if you're new to me, you'll soon discover that this is one of my favorite topics. So recently, last year, it actually might have been like a year and a half ago, I had a powerful remembrance. And I was doing a guided meditation that my mentor, Elaine Kalila, had created. And the meditation was designed to help me and anybody who listens to remember past lives as a priestess or a medicine woman. So remembering past lives where we've served the goddess in some way, or we've really had a life to serve the divine. And in this this guided meditation, I came to see myself. First, I had two really profound visions. One was me as an old woman with a black cloak, and Atlantis was in front of me. And I think my back was towards Atlantis, and I just felt this understanding of my old woman self saying, they're not listening, they're not listening. And what I knew to be true in that moment is that there was like these astronomers or these like male, this like shadow male energy that it was in some sort of authority figure. I really felt astronomers that had led the collective culture and collective society away from darkness. And we're, creating this propaganda that darkness was wrong in some way, or that we needed to turn away from darkness and just celebrate light and white. And I just had this sense of like, they're not listening, they're not listening. And I knew that there was going to be profound consequences and I just felt that they were going into superficiality, that Atlantis was going into superficial energy where it was about glamour and things like this. And again, I knew that this would lead to consequences. And that was like my old woman self. So I had that, and then it flashed to another vision where I was like a priestess of the snake. I was like a sexual priestess of some sort in an underground temple. And they started flooding. There was like these, powers that be that flooded the temple with water and like stole this important child. And that was also very connected to the war, essentially, on anything to do with celebrating the darkness as the rich frequency that it is, snake medicine, sexuality, deep feminine medicine, and all of the incredible power that comes from that. And actually what happened in this meditation is, and I have it on video, but it's a private video on my YouTube just because I needed to talk about it. I was weeping, like I was sobbing, and I felt so devastated, and there was so much grief in my being that I rarely experienced that much grief come up in this lifetime. It was really insane. I actually want to go watch that video again. And I was just like explaining like what I saw, what happened. And that has really helped me to like understand and remember that it's actually one of my soul callings to express and hold space for the sacredness of the dark through lifetimes, and to help humanity awaken to the remembrance that darkness is sacred. And so I want to talk a little bit about what darkness actually means from my lensing, because we so often get confused by terminology: darkness, shadow; darkness, evil; darkness, fear; darkness, pain. They're all interwoven in our current society's lexicon, vocabulary, and I feel that's for a reason. So if you're watching live, welcome to you who are just coming on live, or if you're watching on replay. If you have any questions, comments, anything to share or add, please let me know in the comments. I love to hear from you. So darkness, I want to speak to that. So everything that I'm sharing with you is from my own lensing. So I really want you to obviously only take what resonates with you, because what I say is really different from what most people say about the darkness. And so this for me was really, really true for me, and has been echoed and validated by conversations I've had, or books I've read, or just my own travels inside of myself. But that doesn't mean that it's the be all and end all, of course. So obviously I only take what resonates. And that's just like, I want to state that. So dark, like I was, alluding to, so darkness and fear were, how many times are you online or you're reading a book and they're talking about, darkness, we got to shine the light on the darkness. The darkness in our own soul can take us over, and we need to really clear the darkness, or we need to turn away from the darkness, or, don't be swayed by the darkness, choose your light, right? We're like, there's a war on darkness. Even in very awakened people, even in feminine leaders that I admire, who actually do hold space for the darkness, still use the vocabulary, and it like breaks my heart a little bit, of releasing the darkness. And even so many posts today, it's like so crazy that everyone's like, it's about light, the solstice is about the celebration of the light, because the light is returning. But if that's true, okay, there is a certain, that's true. I mean, the light is returning. But if that's true, then wouldn't it make sense that on the summer solstice, then that would be a celebration of the darkness, because the darkness was returning. So if we're not celebrating the darkness on summer solstice, then there's no balance there. Then it doesn't make sense to only celebrate the light on the winter solstice, the darkest night of the year. To me, this is a really sacred time to honor what the darkness can bring us. So Lindsay, hi love, says, you're the best, Beth. Thank you. Thank you for bringing up this topic. I feel this so deeply. I also believe this to be true. Darkness is sacred and needs to be honored and awakened. And it just like makes me happy that women are feeling me, that there's resonance here. Even when I was talking about this a few years ago, I felt that there was less resonance, like there was less people that kind of understood what I was saying. And even to this point now, I feel like there's more women that are saying, yeah, I totally feel that way too. I get that. I've been receiving the same downloads. So it's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to seeing, and I think it's really important for us to keep this message and share this message. I think it's super important for the balance and healing of this planet, which I'll get to soon. So again, we have this vocabulary, right? And This is how I differentiate between darkness and fear, or darkness and shadow, okay? So when I talk about fear, or places in myself that have disconnected from unconditional love, I'll use the terminology of shadow. For me, that's just what makes sense for me. It's interesting. So when we get into our dark spaces, so the darkness has more of a resonance of, it's like that black womb space, right? It's like being in the mama's womb space, the cosmic womb space, or your actual physical mother womb space. It's slower. It's actually quite still. There's a void energy. There's an emptiness there. It's a space of emptiness, and in emptiness, we also have limitless potential. So the darkness is actually the space, it's like primordial life. It's the space that has birthed the light. To me, in my own understanding, the light came from the womb of no thing. And when we connect with our darkness, when we slow down and we start to connect with this empty vibration inside of us, the thing is, we've been disrespecting our darkness as a culture for a very long time, and we were raised to disrespect our darkness. So this is how I see it. When we have aspects of our consciousness that we want to push down and push away, we push them into our darkness because we don't hang out there. It's like pushing things under the rug. It's like, well, we don't see them. We hang out in the light. We're like, yeah, light, cool. I'm going to hang out in the light. Awesome. But, you know, a lot of us, even myself included, I still have a journey of entering the darkness more and more, of course. We sweep things under the rug. So that means we put it in our darkness. So we're like, ooh, emotion that I don't want to feel in the darkness. Ooh, that really hurt. That stings. Don't know if I want to process that. Okay, in the darkness. Some other people's bullshit that I'm holding on to, ooh, feels a bit sticky, in the darkness. So when we go and we descend and we start the path of slowing down and connecting with the darkness, sometimes it can feel painful. And go, oh, darkness equals pain. Darkness equals my shadow material. You know, the darkness it has to do with my fear. Actually, how I see it is that since we've been stuffing our shit in the darkness, I mean, it loves to hang out there. It's like, sweet, no one can see me, no one's going to bother me, no one's going to blast me with love, I can just hang out here and just... But then when we go there, we start to feel it all and go, oh, I got this pain here, I got this unresolved thing. So I feel that our presence is actually light. We are made of light. Even though we come from the darkness and we have this dark space inside of us, and I feel that our actual spirits are light. So when we bring our presence into the darkness, we feel the pain and we feel the things that we've been stuffing down. But when we stay there and we actually bring our presence there and we just honor, okay, yeah, this is coming up, I feel this, I love this, this is coming up, I feel this, I love this, and our presence is the light energy, we're blasting the light to clear out everything that's been hidden, right? So we're going into our darkness, we're going under the rug, and we're going, ooh, I'm gonna sweep. But after you sweep under the rug, you don't need to keep sweeping, right? After you sweep under the rug, it's done, it's clear, it's good. You can just chill out and leave it. So when we put our presence in the darkness, we'll blast that light and we'll clear all that out, but then the darkness can just go back to being darkness, right? Once we clear that energy out, the darkness was always meant to be this empty void space, right? So once we've, you know, hung out in our darkness long enough with enough respect for it, we actually start to get to know the real frequency of the darkness. We've cleared and we've transmuted a lot of the things that have been hanging out there that, you know, weren't being attended to. And then we can actually feel the energy of the void. You can feel the energy of emptiness, of space, of the cosmic womb. And then we start to realize the nourishment. And then we can connect our darkness with certain aspects of our psyche that are darker, our sexuality, right? There's really like this dark, sexy frequency around sexuality, right? Of course, there's a sexy frequency around sexuality. Amanda says, so beautiful. Even as you're speaking about the slowing down, I literally feel my anxiety slowly dissipating. A calming effect, and that's going to be okay. Awesome. Rita says, like a star shining into the deep space, which in turn highlights a star. Amazing. Amanda says, damn, girl, I love you. L-U-V. I like this spelling. Thanks. Awesome. So yeah, I'm just really passionate about this. So then and the womb space is a place of getting downloads then, right? Then we can actually connect with the frequency of real darkness, and we feel witchy, we feel sexy, we feel super connected to our intuition, we're getting downloads. This is the space of the priestess. This is the medicine of the snake arises from here. This is Kali's domain, right? And we feel a lot more balanced. So then we go around the world, and then something comes up that's funky, and rather than going, tread water, I always felt like this when I was just trying to hang out in the light realms all the time, and I was like, no, it's gotta be positive and all the time great. I felt like I was treading water. But then when we let ourselves, I can show, you know, there's some shadow material that's hanging out of the darkness. Sweet, the darkness is gonna hold space for me. I'll just drop down, transmute that shit like a boss. Hopefully, or just like cry in your bed for 3 days while you try to figure it out, and then transmute it, and then shell out in the darkness and feel the support of that. And the darkness and the light are actually friends. Most people don't realize that. There's a lot of times, you know, lightness blasting out the dark. The lightness doesn't blast out the dark. You shine light on the dark, but the minute you take that light away, the darkness is still there. Like you didn't take away the dark. But turn these lights off, the dark would be back. You know. So I want to give you this example. What happens when the light and the dark meet? Okay, this is a little trick question. It's not a trick question. It's like a real question, but it's like it's like a little riddle. What happens every day when the light and the dark meet? Okay, the sun comes up in the morning, the dark and the light meet, and we get sunrise, one of the most beautiful, it's like the orgasm of the sky. It's just like, woo, orgasm of the sky, woo, one of the most beautiful things in nature. What happens when they meet again at the end of the day? The sun goes down, meeting the dark, and they have another orgasm. They're just like, I fucking love it to make love to you, light and dark, yay, and we have sunset. Of course, again, one of the most beautiful things we experience, the oranges and the reds and the purples, and it's like, oh my God. So, darkness and light are actually friends. They work together, okay? So then we have this, you know, energy around people saying, well, there's, you know, we gotta have like, you know, the light and the dark, and there's no darkness without light and all this. But because we have a skewed understanding of darkness, like we just talked about, yes, the balance is amazing. The light and the dark create this harmony, super important. But if we think that our darkness is suffering, if we think darkness means suffering, as most of the population does, if we think that darkness means fear, then we use that as an excuse, as fuel for the fire, to be in suffering and being in pain. And I've seen this all the time. People are like, well, you know, there's no light without the dark. They need each other. So, you know, my suffering and my pain and all the suffering that I'm clinging to, I mean, I need that because there's no, you know, you can't have the light without the dark and dark without the light. So it's balance. Cut the fucking bullshit. Okay, that's not what darkness means. Darkness is void, empty, beautiful, sacred space, and you don't actually have to suffer. Suffering is a choice that we take on as humans because we're crazy. Simple as that. We actually don't have to suffer. Little secret. A lot of us choose to. Yeah, sure, you can learn a little tiny bit through suffering, but most of what we learn through suffering is that we don't want to suffer, and so we want something else, and then we choose that path, right? Not to say that suffering, okay, I'm not just saying your suffering is, you know, terrible and you should get rid of it at all. You know, we want to love it and bring it in. But I just want to speak to that, you know, we're using that light and the dark balance, if we don't understand the darkness, for an excuse to just be with our suffering over and over again, rather than just lifting it up for transmutation and actually just fucking enjoying life. I don't know. It's like, you know, I don't know if you're feeling me on that. Rita says, I enjoyed turning on, experiencing total darkness. That slowly lightened up as my eyes adjusted. Yeah, cool. Darkness. Excited for some of that later. So I'm called to speak a little bit more on that suffering edge because I think some of, you know, that triggered some of you. So what wants to come through about suffering? So there's nothing wrong with suffering. It's not bad. I suffer too. Every human does, unless they're enlightened. So it's not bad to suffer. But the point that I was making is that it's not necessary to suffer, that we can learn through joy. Little known fact. So many people are saying we learn our most amazing lessons through suffering. I would also like to bring forth the notion that we actually can learn through joy if we want to. That's a choice we get to make. And of course, does it take a while for us to disconnect and detach from the layers of suffering that we experience? For sure. I've experienced mild depression in my life for many years. I know how sticky that can feel. Really sticky, really hard to navigate away from. But then the antidote, really, I truly believe, to depression is honoring the darkness. We need to be brave enough to step into those realms that carry our shadow material and just fucking chill out and slow down and not feel like we need to tread water and just transmute so we can feel the nurturing aspect of the darkness once more and clear a lot of that out, and we can just feel like it's okay. Like the darkness won't swallow us up and bring us to hell, actually. You know, we've been told that darkness equals hell and pain and suffering, right? That actually darkness is going to really lead us to unconditional love. So Dolores said, that's really crazy. I've been honoring Hecate and all this crap has come up, all this stuff I've crammed there. But then today with my dad's third heart attack blockage, I have to come to terms with another sick parent and my anger towards God for when my mom died of cancer at 7 and not saving her. And that's a lot to deal with for sure. And I applaud you and honor you for even having the awareness that this is some of the shadow material that's coming up. And I always feel like anybody that's experiencing strong situations in their life where there's a lot of pain involved or grief or confusion, like, you know, your parents passing away or sexual abuse and all this stuff, that's, to me, that indicates that you're a powerful soul and you're choosing a level of self-mastery to transmute this energy for yourself and for the collective. And that indicates to me a very powerful soul that's learning to embody frequencies of transmutation that will ultimately really help the world. Jane says, I used to be afraid of the dark, like when the lights are off, and also the figurative dark, but now I try to find my way around the dark and I love it. Awesome. Nice. Oh, great. Okay, so is there anything else that wants to come through? We're going to meditate soon. I'm just going to feel into if there's anything else that wants to come through. Okay. Oh, yes. So let's talk about why we associate darkness with evil. So remember when I was, if you were here with me, if you're joining live and missed it, go back and listen to the story. But so remember when I talked about, you know, being a priestess and seeing, you know, the masculine, shadow masculine forces that be like stripping us away from the darkness. So I actually really feel that there was a focused, conscious decision by certain beings to cut us off from the sacredness of the dark. Because if you want to control a population, you need to take away their power and you need to keep them in fear. You know, we can see this in, you know, some major world religions, right? You know, keep them afraid of hell and we'll be able to control them. So what's a great way to control people and take away their power and cause them to be in fear? Split them off from half of themselves. Make them believe that their feminine energy, the medicine of the darkness, is evil or wrong. Make them believe that the darker aspects of themselves, like sexuality, is something to be feared and punished. And make them believe that the darker aspects of themselves have to do with hell and eternal suffering. Great way to control the population. Actually, really smart. You know, I gotta give them credit. Like, that's fucking smart, you know. Ooh, I have a great idea. Let's just like have a war on the darkness. So I really feel that there was an actual focus of like, okay, let's split them off from the darkness. Let's confuse the vocabulary. Let's have a war on the priestesses of the darkness, like myself, and we'll just control everything. So you can see why I'm so passionate about educating, you know, or, you know, women and men too, or holding space for the remembrance about the sacredness of the darkness, because I truly feel, so the darkness is yin energy, right? It's that receptive space of rest, nourishment, receiving. And we're so yang. The planet is so yang. And yang energy looks, and I got this from a great book, Grandmothers Speak, yang energy will look at a forest and go, ooh, I can cut down those trees and I can build. I can build a house. I'm going to look at a forest. I can build a house. I can build a tree house. I can build cabinets. This is great. I can produce. I can do. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that at all. It's just the yang energy. But the yin energy looks at a forest and goes, ooh, I can just be. Like, ooh, it's so peaceful. I can just sit under that tree and receive. And so, but the thing is, when they're out of balance, when you have a world that's maybe 90% yang, then, well, that forest is in trouble, because if everyone's looking in that forest going, I can cut that down and build, then we have an issue, as you know, which is exactly what's happening. So can you just kind of connect the dots here, probably, oh, the yang energy, or the yin energy, and the sacredness of the darkness, and connecting to the sacredness of the rest yin space. And this includes feeling safe to rest, and feeling safe to not do anything, and feeling safe to be. I mean, how many of us feel guilty when we're not doing? And how many of us can't even sleep in some of the time because we feel like, shit, I'm so lazy, right? This is the lack of the yin and the lack of the honoring of the yin. So we need this to come back in all sorts of ways and forms to bring back, thanks for the hearts, to bring back the balance. And so yin can really start to harmonize and balance with the masculine. And so now you know why I'm so passionate about it, because I really feel that this is the medicine for the world. And so it's not about dipping our toes in the darkness and coming right back up to the, like, oh, okay, I did a little bit of darkness. You can actually rest in the darkness for your whole life. Your womb space honors the darkness, right? Whether you're, whether you have your physical womb or not, the womb is an energetic vortex. You can literally, you'll always be resting in the darkness while honoring the light. It's not something that you're going to just try on for a little bit and then go back to the light, right? Maybe that's true for some people, but for me, I really feel that I am dark and I am light. Look, I'm wearing black and I'm wearing white, right? I am dark and I am light, and I feel that the essence of the spirit is light, but I feel like the spirit loves to rest in the dark, right? And you can feel this into a tree, right? The tree has its roots down in the dark and really receives the nourishment from the dark soil. And then it can grow, and it can grow into the light, and it also receives nourishment from the light and grows like that, right? So, it's not about just quickly dipping our toes, like I said, in the darkness. And, you can actually just chill the fuck out on the darkness. Like, it's the mama. She's just going to hold you. It's the womb space. And this is also a secret. I don't know if it's a secret. I think it's a secret, though, to receiving abundance and money from a priestess vantage point. Sure, we can hustle, and if we have belief systems and say hard work equals money, then we can burn ourselves out like crazy and hustle and make some money. But if we want to be in the energy of divine feminine, and if we want to be in the energy of our priestess and also make money, then this needs to come into play. Receptivity, receiving, feeling worthy enough, being that black hole that sucks everything in. So we're going to get into meditation very, very soon. And now I would just like to presence that I did a ceremony with Kaya Ra yesterday when I was in the bathtub. And for those of you who don't know who Kaya Ra is, she is an intuitive and the author of a book called The Sophia Code, which many of you are familiar with. If you're not familiar with it, Google it. It's amazing. And so she's a divine feminine leader, really into divine feminine Christ consciousness. And she was just channeling all this information about this is a really powerful access point and portal. So actually, when we're resting right now, she was channeling when we're resting, when we're meditating, when we're sleeping, over these few days, we're receiving these new codes. There's all these new codes coming into our field of awareness right now. So I want you to really give yourself permission, if you haven't already, to rest, to meditate, to get lots of sleep over the next couple of days if you can. If you can't, at least hold some sort of, even right now we're getting into meditation, so that's going to be a space. But like, Kaya said, take advantage of this time where new codes are downloading. And I had a really powerful last night that wasn't really like a dream, where I was literally getting downloads from Mother Mary. Let's just presence Mother Mary through this I love Mother Mary right now. I'm so into her. I'm so into you. I was just getting this crazy download. I didn't know what was happening. It was just blasting my head, and Mother Mary was like inside of me, and I was like, oh! And I was like, whoa. I woke up, I was like, solstice, energy coming through, crazy. Okay, so I just wanted to presence that, so we're all kind of like in that flow of like, yeah, like let's receive those codes. Darkness, awesome, great. And as we move forward, yeah, let's welcome in the light for sure, because light and dark are friends. But right now, questions or comments before we get into our meditation. If you're live, do so now. If you're on replay, just do it whenever you want, because I'll look at it later. Itchy. But I'm gonna keep my beret on for another 20 minutes because it's just too cute. Okay. I'm just gonna pause for a moment. Cool. I think that people are receiving it. So yeah, of course, questions, comments, live, replay, holla at a sister. And reply to other people if someone's saying something that you feel. Jill says, love your attitude tonight. Thanks. Lots of attitude. This one. But yeah, cool. Great. Awesome. Thanks. So let us get into this meditation. So if you just want to close your eyes, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, or in a better way that works for you. Let's just allow ourselves to slow down. Slowing down. Breathing in and just allowing the breath to open up the neck, open up the spine, breathing energy down through the spine. And breathing energy into the sacral chakra and the root chakra now as you allow your root chakra to blast tree roots open. And these tree roots are coming down your legs, thick, really thick, powerful tree roots. Enough to move a sidewalk if they wanted to, and just bury them down your knees. You might even want to touch your knees and your legs to really get your awareness down there. And allow your roots to go all the way into the calves, into the ankles, into the feet, burying down into the soil, into the black soil under you, and just let those tree roots suck up nourishment as they simultaneously grow down into the black soil, down into the underground caves and rivers, down meeting all those beings who hang out in the underground realms, and going all the way down, right into the center of Mama Gaia. And you can see a beautiful blood red, ruby red frequency right in the center of Mama Gaia. And breathe that blood red up. Breathe that really nourishing blood red frequency, the blood of Mother Earth, and intake that into your system through the roots. Allow that to strengthen your aura, your energy field, your body, your spirit, your mind, as you intake that red energy up through the tree roots and into the root chakra, allowing your root chakra to open and expand as it receives this nourishment from Mother Earth. And into the sacral chakra, into the solar plexus, into the heart space, into the throat, into the third eye, and the crown, and just allow your crown to open up like it's growing branches and leaves as it just receives this deep nourishment from Mama Gaia. And as you breathe, I would like you to now see yourself in a dark cave. And if you'd like, you can have an entrance into the dark cave. You might see yourself walking on a dark beach or in a dark forest as you walk and enter into this beautiful dark cave. And as you do so, you notice that you actually feel quite nourished and supported by the darkness. You do feel other beings and spirits and frequencies in the darkness, but you actually feel very held by them. You feel that they have your back. You feel that they're actually, it's like a blanket. It's like the darkness is a blanket that's just holding you. You can breathe into that and you can enter into the cave. And in the cave, you enter and you see this fire right in the center of this cave. And it's not a huge fire, it's just a little one that still allows everything to be mostly dark, but it's just enough to provide warmth and a sense of a center for this cave. And as you walk in, you also see this old woman, old, almost haggard woman sitting by the fire. She's the crone, she has wrinkles on her face, she has a black cloak, and the hood is around her face, on her head. And she locks eyes with you as you enter in, and you instantly feel that this is a sacred space. You instantly feel that this is a woman of power, so you gently ask, do I have permission to enter into this cave? Out of respect. And as you ask, you feel an overwhelming yes resounding from the cave, resounding from the spirits of the cave and the woman herself. And so you enter and you walk, and if you're wearing shoes, you take them off so you can feel the ground of this cave walking forth. And as you walk forth, you feel your feet on the bare earth, the black earth, the cave surrounding you, the black rock of the cave. And as you move forward, the old woman motions you to sit down in front of her, in front of the fire, across from her. And she looks at you with these fierce yet loving eyes and says, welcome, beloved, I've been waiting for you. I live inside of you. My name is Hecate. The ancients honored me. The ancients honored me for my sacredness, my power, the incredible frequency of the womb of no thing that is me, that is my medicine. They honored the crow. They honored the raven and the snake, the panther of the night. But now there aren't many who carry my medicine. Will you be one who carries my medicine? Will you be one who carries me with you? Will you be one who stands for my sacredness? Not that I need your validation, for I know I am sacred. But it's time that my consciousness wakes up. Or there's been prayers for me and what I can give to the world for thousands of years. The world needs. Will you be a carrier of me? And as you look at her, just feel through your heart and what's good for you. You're absolutely free to say no if that doesn't feel right for you at this time. Honor that. But if you feel ready to be a carrier for Hecate and medicine of the darkness, you can mentally say yes. And as she looks at you, she conveys, my medicine can be found here in this cave, in this place that opens up into the bowels of the earth, into this place that resonates with the frequency of the womb of the mother. There's power in emptiness. There's infinite magnetism in stillness. I am wise beyond comprehension, for I am connected to the womb of no thing. I am the womb of no thing. And in the womb of no thing, as you are nothing, you know everything. As you know nothing, everything is available. We can download exactly what we need. And if you said yes to receiving her medicine, you can now breathe in black energy. Breathe this black energy first through your Earth Star portal. And this may feel uncomfortable at first because you've been trained to think of black as evil or something that will be bad for you. So be gentle with yourself and only take in what feels right for you at this time. You can now breathe a black light, black energy in through your Earth Star chakra, which is about 1 foot or 2 feet below your feet, receiving the medicine of the black earth. And as you intake, you can breathe that black energy all the way into your womb, triggering your awareness of the womb being a space of no thing, black void energy. And at this time, you can feel the release and you can feel the emptiness. Empty, 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 feeling Hecate supporting you, feeling her show you the nurturing found in the dark. Opening up to any part of you that's resisting this and loving it. It's definitely understandable. Having compassion for that which fears the darkness. And Mother Mary comes to greet you energetically and hold space for you, holding space that you can trust that you're safe as you start to become a deeper carrier of the medicine of the darkness. Knowing that you can still be a powerful carrier of the light. You can be both. You're meant to be both. Remembering that the darkness and the light love each other. And beyond that, there's a sacred third of unity, where they merge, where they're all one, where it's all one. So breathing in the darkness again, as much as you feel you're available for at this time. And in this dark space, notice what images come to you, whether there's images of certain animals or feeling the root and feeling Mother Earth underneath you. And we ask you to just empty. Knowing that being in the darkness requires us to release control. Being comfortable with what might feel uncomfortable at first. Being no thing, when for our whole lives we've been asked to be something. Now honoring and holding space for us to be no thing. Empty, empty, empty. And allowing yourself to slow down as a raven moves through and flies through the sacred connection to the darkness inside of you. Helping to anchor you and being a spirit guide for you as you journey on as a sacred carrier of the darkness, if that was your choice. Thank you, darkness, for bringing us wisdom. Thank you for helping us to know how deep and secure and safe this place is. And thank you, Sophia, Goddess, Father, Mother, God, for guiding us to open to the sacredness of the dark and release all fear of it, as we all still carry fear. It's been ingrained into us in the collective consciousness of humanity. It's safe to allow the darkness in. And if there's shadow that is found in the darkness, we're asked to hold it in a space of unconditional love. It's no longer the time to push away what we fear, for everything is a reflection of our truth, of our true selves. Everything is a reflection of what we've got going on in deeper layers. So bringing everything in that might feel scary and saying, I love you. You are worthy of my love. Releasing the attachment to fear, what we don't understand. And even if that energy feels negative, say, I love you anyway. Because this is how we transmute the shadow that's been hanging out in the darkness. I love you. I love the part of me that feels afraid. I love all parts of me that I feel here. So whenever you're ready, you can take a couple deep breaths and thank Hecate for the medicine. And you can breathe her in now, breathing this old woman in, feeling her dissolve, seeing her dissolve, and breathing her into your being, knowing it's safe to do so. This is a goddess who comes with unconditional love. And all here is in the space the intention and the frequency of unconditional love. Whenever you're ready, you can reconnect with the earth and bring yourself gently outside of this dark cave space. Thanking all beings who've served us this time. Thanking all beings who are holding space for us this time. Thanking the raven. Thanking the black panther. Thanking the worms. Thanking the dark soil. And you can gently, no rush, open your eyes slowly to the room whenever you feel it's time. That was a deep one for me. So I'm going to leave that with you now and trust that if you need spaciousness in this space, feel free to do so. Really feel a lot came through in that transmission. Whew. Good. So, loves, if you, of course, have any questions or comments, if you'd like to share what transpired through that meditation or any aha moments that you're having or any reflections, please do so in the comments. If you don't feel like right now it's the time, you can come back later and share, live or on replay. And thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it. And I so appreciate the sisters who are called to the embodiments of deep feminine medicine. And it's okay, there's parts of us that's going to feel uncomfortable as we forego thousands of years of imprinting in the collective consciousness that says, don't go here. You'll end up in hell if you go here. This is wrong, this is scary, it's bad. It's only trouble. It's only bad things that can happen. It's okay. That's imprinted in the collective consciousness. So let's love all parts of ourselves that feel that way on some level. And it is my experience that the deeper into the darkness I go, the more powerful of a transmuter that I am. And when negative energy comes to me, especially through the dream time and demonic energies come to me, I can powerfully release them, heal them, and transmute them. And I really do that by going, I love you. I love you. I love the shadow. I love the fear. I love everything that's been hanging out in the darkness. I love you. I love you. I love you. We are one. I am God. I am goddess. You are a part of me, and I love you. Big work. So much love to you, many blessings. And of course, we will see each other soon if you are choosing to hang around in the Sisterhood of the Mermaid Moon. So many blessings and have a beautiful solstice. And again, if you can spend some more time in rest, meditation, or sleep, lots of coping, lots of activations coming through.